Sports coverage of the 1987 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer. And by Nissan's Pathfinder, named Best 4x4 of the Year by both Four Wheeler and Four Wheel and Off-Road magazines.
The same quintet used in this entire series: Barkley, Robinson, McCormick, Cheeks, and Irving. Matty Gukas, rumors say, may be coaching his last game in Philadelphia. Pressey, Cummings, Sigma, Lucas, and Moncrief. Cummings and Moncrief did not start in the first two games, and they've been in there the last three now. As the stage is set, Don Nelson also having problems, and he may be moving on as well. This is how close the series has been. No one has won back-to-back. Home court has meant nothing, and as you can see, all the games have been close, with one going into overtime. There's Julius Irving, who played a big role in Philadelphia winning Friday to even the series, and the Sixers with the ball. What kind of offense have they been doing?
They've been doing a lot of isolation, Dick, and getting it to Charles Barkley and letting him create things. They need some scoring from him inside.
Maurice Cheeks, who did not have a good scoring game Friday, misses the first shot, and here's Lucas pushing it up.
And they've got to create rhythm and pace to their game, and this guy, John Lucas, is the man responsible for that.
Good penetration, though he missed the shot. No score. Philadelphia with its second possession. Earl Strom and Ed Rush are the officials today. Mike Mathis is the alternate. Cheeks loses the ball inside. Lucas challenging the big McCormick.
That's the way Don Nelson would like to see the start. Running full speed.
Lucas has really had his hands full defending against Maurice Cheeks. And Don Nelson said he's going to watch Lucas early on. No turnover. It is still Philadelphia ball. That's what happens when you win the opening game of the series. It was the Bucks successful. And as we said, no one has won back-to-back. That's been the pattern in the first four games.
The key matchup right now is Charles Barkley against Pressey. Who wins that matchup will determine the game.
Julius Irving misses from the corner, and McCormick into Cliff Robinson in the lane and ties the score. Cliff Robinson, who had a big game on Friday night, strong off the boards and good defense against Cummings. And this time it was Barkley defending Pressey and an offensive foul against Pressey.
They're going to put the ball against Charles Barkley as much as possible, try to get him in foul trouble. It worked right there.
Tommy, when they isolated Barkley in the past, the Bucks double-teamed him mostly. They're going to play it differently today.
They're going to try and get him going to the hoop, Barkley, to create foul situations.
10 seconds on the clock, and Lucas really giving Cheeks some trouble. 6 on the clock. Robinson has his shot tipped away by Lucas, and now the 24-second clock expires, and you can credit John Lucas with doing the bulk of the defensive work there.
That's where the speed really comes into play, not only on the fast break, but defensively. This is the fastest rotating team on defense, perhaps in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks.
And now they're checking to make sure that the clock had expired.
What is it? What you had, I would say that when that thing was off, they got 2 seconds. Okay, I'd say you have 2 seconds.
Here's the defense. You're going to see they make them work the clock down. That's one of the things that'll help in the defense of Barkley. Here's Robinson, no place to go. Tries to create something for himself, and look at Lucas, double from behind. Those quick feet in action.
Now they rule that there are 2 seconds left for the Sixers to get the shot off. Crowd does not approve. Initially, Earl Strom ruled that the 24-second clock had expired.
Dick, this has been a classic matchup between speed and size. Don Nelson at times has gone to the 4 smallest players just to enhance that speed advantage, and Matty Gukas has been faced all along with the challenge of trying to negate that speed and still maintain his power advantage.
McCormick will inbound. Now they move it up to 5 seconds.
Sixers ball.
And Lucas all over him, and a wild shot as the buzzer sounds. So the Sixers couldn't get it off even with 5 seconds, and the shot clock did them in that time. Tommy, Milwaukee, like you point out, running a lot more with Lucas in the backcourt. Their offense is better, but they've suffered a little bit defensively, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I think that those quick feet and underneath the boards haven't hurt them, helped them an awful lot against Barkley. He's controlled that offensive rebound department.
Jack Sigma going strong to the hoop. Basket counts and a foul. Jack Sigma has been the hero in both Milwaukee victories, and Don Nelson said to us yesterday he must stay out of foul trouble. Don't forget, he came over from Seattle for a #1 draft pick and Alton Lister in a deal that was questioned in many circles.
And he has to have a good game today, particularly taking it to the basket, again trying to draw fouls. His normal inclination is to turn around and shoot jump shots from 15 feet.
He's helped them offensively, no question, but they missed the shot blocking of Lister. Philadelphia has hit just 1 of 5. 5-2 in favor of Milwaukee. Cliff Robinson hits from the corner. He was acquired from the Bullets in the Moses Malone deal, by the way, and he paid strong dividends.
And he's another key player. He may end up having to defend a very small player today.
Lucas. Off the right bank, and it's 7-4. John Lucas. Comebacker for the second time, fighting drug problems. He said you never really have it licked. The challenge every day. Cheeks against Lucas in your face, and it's now 7-6.
And Cheeks is up trying to make sure Lucas doesn't get the ball and tries to slow him down.
Pressey in the lane. This appears to be like the others, a high-scoring game. All but game 1 were high-scoring affairs.
The Sixers right now have their slowest team on the court. And I think the Bucks are hoping to beat up on them early in this first quarter.
Irving gets the roll in the basket, so Julius Irving with his first points of the game. And Milwaukee leading 9-8, 8:35 to go in the first. Lucas driving the baseline and is pushed and a foul. Julius Irving, of course, starting today at guard, but he played most of Friday night at forward.
I think that was a key decision on Matty Gukas' part. That got speed back into their fast break attack, and it was helpful in the win.
They let Cummings get inside for the easy layup, and the Bucks seemed to score at will when Philadelphia had the lead late in the game in contest number 3. So Milwaukee red hot 5 for 6 from the field. And most of them inside shots. McCormick. Tim McCormick, what a lifesaver he has been this year with Ruland out with the injury.
Boy, he's just come along. Been a big surprise, but has not played as effectively in this series as he had during the season.
Lucas penetrating. He has been the key. John Lucas with 6 points. Superb defense.
He destroys your defense if he gets inside, Dick. You've got to keep him out of that paint.
Cheeks using McCormick. No pick and roll developed. Barkley was left open. And Cheeks in the crowd loses the ball. But there's the doctor, the Barkley. Whistle. And a 3-second violation. Is that or a foul?
They've had
Reset. Check it.
2 problems with the 24-second clock, man, and that potentially took a basket away from Philadelphia. I think the timer's got to be a little bit sharper than what he's shown so far in this first couple of minutes.
Barkley has not handled the ball much. They wanted him to get off early in this game. Barkley hasn't scored, working against Pressey. 3 defenders, and McCormick follow-up shot misses. And a foul called against Philadelphia. Loose ball foul. Charles Barkley, and the crowd loves that.
Look at all the attention Barkley gets. He's got to make his move quicker than he did just there because they pushed him way underneath.
McCormick now on Pressey. They double-team Sigma. Pressey goes for 2 shots, 2 points for Paul Pressey.
That is Milwaukee at its best. Penetration, and then kick it outside for the easy 18 to 20-foot shot.
The Sixers have outshot the Bucks in every game, but Milwaukee is 7 for 8, and a foul away from the ball against Jack Sigma, his first. Timeout. Milwaukee by 5.
Hey, guys, great barbecue.
Yeah, plenty of Miller Lite.
Have a can, Rodney.
This one's empty.
Mighty fine playing, Jim. Wasn't me.
because it tastes great.
Let's say, Mark!
We're doomed. I'll tell you, we don't get no respect. So this is Earth, huh? Where were the girls? Wow! Well, what a pack of handsome guys!
No matter where you're from, there's only one light beer. Miller Lite.
I tell you, it's not easy being us, huh? Oh, what a crowd! What a crowd!
Witness the three-point assault of the world's best bomb squad. The NBA playoffs continue Saturday on CBS Sports.
But John Lucas gets into your defense. He can create problems. And Cheeks have been doing a pretty good job on him most of the series. But here they help him out a little bit. A little pick. Make Cheeks lose him for a minute. And bad defense by McCormick allows Lucas to get right inside for an easy one. They have to play better defense against that pick and roll in order to stop John Lucas.
Del Harris talking to Lucas, and by the way, Harris was one of the people who urged Don Nelson to go with Lucas again in his second comeback attempt. They both came into the league at the same time. Both were involved with Houston. Harris, of course, coached the Rockets, and they were rookies together. 4 out of the 5 starters for Milwaukee have scored. Moncrief the only one not to, and Barkley is the only Sixer not to get into the scoring column.
Bucks are playing very aggressive defense here in this first quarter. They're attacking defensively all over the place.
That's what usually wins games like these, deciding games. McCormick with the jumper, and it's 15-12. And when you consider how red hot Milwaukee is, Philadelphia is not in bad shape, down by only 3. Sikma setting a screen, left open. They double-teamed Lucas, and Sikma made him pay for it.
Well, that time McCormick went over and tried to cut off the penetration, and you see how alert Lucas can be. When that happens, that leaves Sikma wide open, and he knows how to make him pay.
Nearly halfway through this opening period. McCormick, the good feed from Irving, missed a close-in shot, and Sikma, who has been the leading rebounder for the Milwaukee Bucks. Cummings misses. Pressey fails to tip it in, and the rebound by Charles Barkley.
But a slow outlet pass allows the speed of the Bucks to get back and cut off any fast break opportunities.
Cummings on Robinson. Hits his second shot from deep in the corner. And the Bucks lead is 3 here. Lucas directing traffic. So far playing well, and Don Nelson had considered going more to the big guard, meaning Pearson Moncrief. Cummings and traveling called against Terry Cummings.
Here's the same play we showed before, the pick and roll, and you're going to see the good defense by McCormick. He shuts down the lane, but look how alert Lucas is to Sikma, and the rush by Barkley creates an opening for Sikma to take advantage of.
Isolating Robinson on Cummings one-on-one, and that causes an illegal defense against the Bucks. That's their first. Next time will be a technical foul. Don Nelson, who said he likes to play big guard. And you're going to be seeing the life of Ricky Pierce, who is maybe the league's best 6th man. Julius Irving. And Moncrief gets the ball away. Terrific defense by Moncrief. He's stuck with Julius all the way here. Sikma. There's that outside shot you were talking about.
He may not take it to the hoop an awful lot out of that low post, but he sure can hit that jump shot.
He's 3 for 3. And again, the Bucks are up by 5.
Great double teaming by the Bucks here in this quarter.
Julius Irving just misses, and Sikma clears the rebound. Long pass knocked away by Julius, but Moncrief will wait for the rest. Sikma from Moncrief. Great feed from Moncrief.
They are finding Jack Sikma all over the place, wide open.
Only you.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished.
After each wash, you need some Armor All. On the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
You're my dream.
And now, introducing Clean Start, the new cleaner which safely removes tough dirt. Clean Start, only from Armor All products.
I feel good.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
So I've checked the mileage, Andy.
Hey, we're the order line. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Feel good. Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto line.
But I-
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
Okay.
4x4s came in lots of shapes and sizes this year, but only one was named Best 4x4 of the Year. Nissan Pathfinder, honored by both four-wheel and off-road and four-wheeler magazines.
Best of the year in on- and off-road performance.
Best of the year for interior comfort and function. Award-winning ride, toughness, and style found in Pathfinder and every 4x4 we make. The 4x4 of the Year is Pathfinder. The name is Nissan.
His accomplishments are legendary, and his tournament features some of golf's brightest stars. The Byron Nelson Golf Classic next weekend on CBS Sports.
A classic matchup, a small man against a wide body, and Pressey using his feet to deny the position to Barkley. Look at that arm out there denying the passing lane. Makes Barkley pop out. He's now not a low post player at all. He gets the job done. As he puts it on the floor, now he gets help. So Barkley has got to get the ball and make a move quicker to the basket than he's doing right now.
Sidney Moncrief, who made that feed and the assist to Jack Sikma, playing his best ball, maybe 70% of what he was. This guy played hard for so many years, and paying the price, played only 39 games with bad knees this year. He's quite a battler. Not quite what Sidney Moncrief was vintage-wise. And nearly took the ball away from Robinson, who hits a very tough shot with two men on him.
Why, when they double team you, there's a man in front and a man behind. So if you take a jump shot and bring it behind your ear, they're knocking it away. What a tough shot that was.
Milwaukee had just established their biggest lead of 7. Philadelphia cut it back. They double Lucas. Sikma's open again. Off the mark, an air ball, and Cummings loses it out of bounds.
The Sixers center is getting down there to try to cut off penetration, and the Bucks are playing that to good advantage. They're getting Sikma wide open all over the place.
Look at Milwaukee shooting so far today, but they started out blazing hot on Friday night and had a 17-point lead before the Sixers rallied. Barkley picks up the loose ball, and Charles really having problems putting the ball through. Foul against the Bucks. Barkley still hasn't scored today.
They needed him to get off early to create some real pressure on Pressey. Pressey is the player that gives style to the Bucks. Without him playing that quick forward spot, they wouldn't be nearly as effective.
Barkley gets on the board with a great spin move. And with 3 minutes to go in the first period, it's 21-18. So with all of the great shooting by the Bucks, the Sixers are hanging right in there with them. Plenty of time on the clock, and Lucas banks it in again, and John Lucas has 8 points.
She sent him to his left. He tried to get on his shooting hand, but Lucas went right up and took the shot anyway.
Cheeks gets all the way inside, and it's still Philadelphia ball with 14 seconds, and coming into the game is Ricky Pierce, prominent sixth man this year, second leading scorer, and he'll give Sidney Moncrief a rest.
And he is a man that you must attend to on the outside. That's going to spread the Sixer defense.
Robinson's had a good first period. 4 for 5. No way to get off a shot there, though. Cheeks. And it's now 23-20, and it's been a 5- and 3-point game, swinging back and forth so far in this first period, and we have 2:13 remaining. Cummings left untouched top of the key.
When Cummings hits 1 or 2 shots from the outside, then you have to go out and get him, and that makes him doubly effective with that good dribble that he has.
Under 2 minutes to go first period. Again, a 5-point lead for the Bucks. All over for Julius, double teaming. Someone's open. It's Robinson. Cummings the rebound. Cheeks penetrating, nothing going, and now Milwaukee will try to establish again their biggest lead of this first period. Sigma. And the Bucks are up by 7. That's been their biggest lead, and Jack Sigma has 11 points on 5 of 6 from the field. Matty Gukas going to his bench. You'll see Tony and Hinson come in the next break. 1:12 remaining in the first period. Cheeks. Sigma the rebound. And the Sixers a little out of sync offensively here. Lucas draws the foul.
His main thought as he's pushing that ball up the court is to advance it as close to the basket as he possibly can in a straight line. And nobody does it better. Not even Magic Johnson, I don't think. The only guy that comes close is Spud Webb.
Roy Hinson is in the ball game, and so is Randy Brewer for Milwaukee as Sigma sits down with a fine 11-point first period. Cheeks' foul, that's his second personal foul.
Barkley is getting an awful lot of attention underneath that basket on rebounds. They're sending 1 and 2 guys to block him off, and that's going to hurt his offensive rebounding ability.
14 fouls on Philadelphia. Lucas hit both free throws, and a 9-point lead, biggest of this first period, 29-20, under a minute to go. So how do the matchups appear now with Hinson and Tony in there for Philadelphia?
They're going to have more speed, the Sixers, in that lineup right now, particularly with Brewer coming back.
Blocked by Cummings on Barkley's shot. Defense. Pierce misses Robinson. 36 seconds now and 20 on the shot clock. In a 9-point lead for Milwaukee. And Cheeks is bumped by Curry Cummings and will go to the line and shoot 2.
The Bucks are so prepared to pick up Maurice Cheeks' penetration. Everybody is zeroing in on him. They are just swallowing him up when he gets into the paint. That foul that time indicative of how readily they're going to get to Cheeks.
Cheeks, by the way, is playing with a splint on a painful left little finger of his right hand. He has tendon damage. Into the ball game for Milwaukee is Craig Hodges, who started the first half of the year. Cummings with 2 fouls sits down. Hodges, an outstanding long-range shooter, and nearly won the free throw time.
They have 4 small men in there right now to go with their biggest man, Randy Brewer, the Bucks. This is speed in essence. They're going to try and get the outside shot or open up the defense for penetration.
And Philadelphia doesn't really have a true center in there either. Double on Lucas. And they're going to call the offensive foul on John Lucas.
Good double team that time by Roy Hinson. He took off the vision of John Lucas. He couldn't find an open man.
10 seconds to go. It's 29-22 in favor of Milwaukee. Cheeks and Robinson doubled with 1 second to go, and that'll do it. It's been a Milwaukee first period at both ends of the floor. 29-22 with the winner going on and the loser going home.
A revolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world. All right, all right, all right.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
LA Lakers superstar James Worthy for RP.
To all of you watching, I want you to think about people who can't watch. People have inherited RP, retinitis pigmentosa, a disease where you slowly go blind, and there is no cure. Let's help everyone see. Support the RP Foundation as if your eyesight depends on it. Call the RP Foundation Fighting Blindness at 1-800-638-2300. Thanks.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1987 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Allstate. Leave it to the good hands, people, to insure your home, your car, or your family. You're in good hands with Allstate. Ryder, we're there at every turn. And by GMAC, the official sponsor of America's Dreams.
We're at the Mecca in Milwaukee. That's what it looks like from outside. Inside, the Milwaukee Bucks have taken a 29-22 lead in this, the fifth and deciding game of this Eastern Conference first-round battle. The Bucks 72%. Sigma and Lucas accounted for 21 of the 29 Bucks points, and tremendous defense by Milwaukee. Julius Erving, sitting out right now, in the first period scored 2 points. As we said, could be his last game of his amazing career if Philadelphia comes up short. Sigma tries to keep it alive, and Pressey is with him even all the way down there.
And that does not allow the Sixers to get their fast break start.
But Hartley broke that press. Robinson misses the shot, and a foul called against Milwaukee, and that kind of backfired on Pressey and the Bucks.
It sure did, because as soon as they held up the outlet pass, Pressey relaxed and let Barkley just steam up the court, and look at what Barkley does. For a big guy, he can put the Jets on. Strong to the basket, finds with the good pass Cliff Robinson.
Foul was on Pierce, his first team foul of this period. So it's a 7-point Milwaukee lead. Ball knocked away. Again, good defense. Hodges taking it all the way, and it's great play by Andrew Toney, who prevented a basket and a foul and knocked it away.
Toney has been hot and cold in this series offensively, but he's given them some good defense and some excellent passing at the right time.
If he ever gets the shooting range, he'll really be trouble for the Bucks. Hodges missing from the corner, and here's Toney. Hasn't gotten the shooting eye down. Hinson. Sigma misses. Hinson, 2 strong games to start the series. He's cooled off. Sigma open again. Jack Sigma, 13 points.
They alert the Bucks to the 5th man up the court, Jack Sigma, because the defense drops to protect against penetration, and they're making the Sixers pay.
The big number there, of course, the rebounds. That's what McCormick is in there for, defensive boards. He's not going to outscore Sigma. Toney still hasn't gotten the range, and Sigma with another rebound. He's got 5 already. 9-point lead for Milwaukee, matching their biggest lead. Brewer, and now the lead is 11.
Perfect blending of speed and size right now by Don Nelson. 2 big guys, 3 quick ones.
Philadelphia's got to come up with some answers here.
Yeah, I know I need life insurance, but I hate spending money on something I hope I'll never use and won't be around to enjoy if it ever is used.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Allstate has life insurance that pays you for living. Allstate Universal Life. It protects your family if you die, and it can provide competitive earnings for your retirement.
So, my family's set if I'm gone, and I'm in the money if I stick around. I think I'll stick around.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Fixing this water damage will cost $1,200. Could I have prevented it?
You could with Thompson's Water Seal.
This water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Prevent water damage with Thompson's Water Seal. Simply brush Thompson's on wood, brick, or concrete, and it penetrates to form a barrier water can't get past, even when driven by 98-mile-per-hour winds.
This time, I'm going to protect my new deck with Thompson's Water Seal. A great defense against repair expense.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Thanks to Father.
Home improvement loan.
It's a General Motors car. Don't get hassled when you finance a new car or truck. Get GMAC financing only at your GM dealer.
Is there someone live I could talk with around?
Do we have one of our calendars? This is a fan calendar. We also have what they call a print calendar. If I can only find it.
Your mother? Wednesday.
She said if I ever got into trouble, I should look up my father.
I wish you had.
I did.
Anna Sam, Stuart Damon, Vanity, and John Carlin guest on Hammer. Tommy, this could be the last game for Matt Guokas in Philadelphia and Don Nelson in Milwaukee. Rumors that Harold Katz has already made up his mind that Guokas is out. That's been denied. They mentioned Gene Shue. That's been denied.
I think Matt Guokas has done absolutely a fantastic job this year. 8 new faces, injuries galore, the farewell song of Dr. J. I don't think they're dealing with reality down there, that 76er management. Unbelievably, I really think that he should have been nominated as one of the Coach of the Year awards.
And another story that may be more complicated involving Don Nelson, where reports are that he wants out of Milwaukee. Robinson. And Cliff Robinson, who has really handled the offense for the Sixers so far, has 10 points. And again, it's a 9-point lead. Hodges is guarded by David Wingate, who's in the ball game now. He was a spark. He helped bring him back from the big deficit the other night.
Very aggressive defensive player.
Pierce with a drive and a basket.
There was the matchup that they used as quickness against size that time. Robinson couldn't get to Pierce.
Robinson hits 2 in a row. And right now, they're exchanging hoops. It's a 9-point Milwaukee lead. Hodges is in there along with Ricky Pierce, Paul Pressey, Brewer, and Sigma. Sigma from Hodges misses the layup. And the rebound by Robinson. Outlet to Julius Erving, who's back in there. He's got Hinson, Tony, and Wingate with him.
This is, if Cheeks were in here right now, it might be the fastest ball club they have.
Robinson is hot, not that time. Went to the well once too often and misses. And with 3 minutes gone by, the Bucks have the ball and a 9-point lead. Philadelphia has not had the lead today. And a runner by Pressey.
Just the fact that Pierce is such a good outside shooter allowed Pressey to make that drive.
And a 20-second timeout called by Matty Guokas.
Here's the mismatch on the outside. A big guy trying to cover a little guy. Easy pickings for Pierce. Here comes Pressey up against the big guy. I mean, it just goes right by them.
But we should point out, and Milwaukee really is outplaying Philadelphia to this point, is that leads have been absolutely nothing in the series, whether they've been taken early or down the stretch, as was the case in game number 3.
I don't think that Matt Guokas has gone to his fastest unit yet. We have a semblance of it right now coming onto the court with Charles Barkley and Dr. J at the forward spot. Tony's going to be in the back court with Wingate, but when Cheeks is in there with Wingate, they really get together defensively.
There you see the leads that went by the board in 3 of the 4 games played thus far. Charles Barkley with his second basket. He's 2 for 6 from the field.
They have controlled Charles Barkley effectively, the Bucks.
He's on Sigma, faces the hoop. Rebound Hinson. And Tony trying to push it up. When he's played all year on 2 sore feet that have bothered him the last couple of years. Barkley in 3-point territory. And 7'3" Randy Brewer gets the rebound. 4 minutes gone by in the second period, and Irving knocks it away from Pierce. It's a 3-on-1 break for the Sixers. The Doctor lays it in. Good play by Irving at both ends that time.
When he plays forward, he's much more aggressive defensively. He feels more comfortable, Julius, when he's out there and doesn't feel he's going to get beat with speed.
And Matty told us yesterday he rebounds better as a forward. Pierce. Milwaukee's inside play gives them a 9-point lead.
By a guard.
Hinson on a lob from Tony.
Brewer may be big, but he can't jump.
Hitting the deck is Pressey, and the foul called against Philadelphia as Cummings comes back in the game.
Moving them out of the paint, right? One guard against another. That shouldn't happen like that. They usually have a little bit of consideration for each other.
Cummings got his rest and is back in the game, and that's going to be a factor here. Cummings, this is a free throw line shot, and here's Tony. It's 3-on-1. Wingate. Wow, thinking Tony stepped on the line. Ed Rush was right there. And Philadelphia should have scored on a 3-on-1. And it's helter-skelter basketball now by both teams. Barkley stuffs it through, and Don Nelson wants a timeout, and he's mad at Earl Strong.
There's a plan for building a house. You should have a plan for moving out of one. That's why Ryder gives you our Move It Yourself guide.
Mom, look what I found. Oh, my
It helps you handle every step, from picking the best truck, to packing your lamps, to shutting off the power.
Got a spot for this?
Oh. What's that?
Here.
Ryder. We're there at every turn.
More and more men are keeping their bodies in shape. Their faces, too. Shaving's rough on your face. So every day, after every shave, splash on Skin Bracer. Skin Bracer cools, soothes, tightens pores.
That's the tingle. Smells great, too.
But Skin Bracer's not cologne. It's skin care you need. That's why more men are saying...
Thanks. I need it, Dad.
Skin Bracer takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer Aftershave.
One word distinguishes the American Express card from the others. Member. And membership has its privileges.
Your American Express receipt should help.
And your very own. Just in case.
Oh, Daddy.
Bangkok today. Yeah, I'm packed.
To apply for membership, look for this display and take one.
Member of our team, James Brown, is with us today with a very special guest. James?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. And indeed, I am with a special guest, the NBA Commissioner, David Stern. David, although Julius isn't hoping so, it could be his last game in his NBA career. Your perspective of what he's meant to the league and the game.
He's elevated the game. I read someone said that he made us a vertical game from a horizontal game. More important, when we needed a sort of a supercharger, Julius was it, and he's presented a very great model for other players to follow off the court as well.
Quickly, you got to be pleased with the NBA playoffs and a team like Seattle doing so well.
Very competitive league. I told you guys that.
And he's still selling. All right, Dick, back to you.
You didn't have to tell us that, Tommy.
Is that some kind of series out there with Seattle and Houston? Wow.
They have no fear, I'll tell you that. That Seattle ball club, Bernie Bickerstaff has done a great job. There's Bob Lanier, who used to make his living here in Milwaukee. What's been behind an 8-2 run by the Sixers here?
Good defense. They packed the team with speed now, the Sixers, and they're getting very aggressive defensively. That's the way they count on getting their fast break going.
Julius Erving on the foul, and for the doctor, that's his first personal foul. And the second team foul on Philly.
This is absolutely the fastest team that the Sixers have that can be effective. This is where they're going to hope to make their inroads.
Now that Cheeks is back.
Right, and Dr. J at the forward spot.
Ricky Pierce, who led the NBA with a 60% shooting percentage early this year, finished at 53. And now it's 41-34. Milwaukee has led all the way and by as much as 11 points. Julius comes back with the basket.
Somebody forgot to get him.
41-36. Milwaukee in front. No one has been able to win back-to-back games in this series. This is the fifth and deciding game of the first round. The winner has to play the Celtics Tuesday night in Boston. Lucas goes for three. Barkley the rebound. Barkley really hasn't gotten underway yet. He has 6 points and slowly making his way to the forefront here. Hinson overplaying his Moncrief, and Hinson hits.
That is a big shot for Hinson. That straightaway looking in jump shot. That'll pull the Sigma out a little bit of the defense.
Now Philadelphia's cut it to 3. They made up 8 points, and we have plenty of time. 5:15 to go in the first half. But Moncrief gets inside. Sidney of old, 6'4", and could jump with the big boys inside.
There's a guy with no fear. A little man like that playing the low post.
Julius Erving to Hinson, gets the ball back. Short on the jumper, but there's Hinson again, and he draws the foul.
Here's Sidney Moncrief in a low post. He will play any guard in the league that way. And look what happens. He may not have gotten the ball on the catch in the low post, but boy, is he ready to receive it a second time to score.
Second foul on Jack Sikla. Pressey comes into the ball game, and John Lucas gets a breather, so we'll lose the Bucks will at least some of that speed they've had.
Correct. I'm looking at Roy Hinson on this foul line right now, Dick, and I'm seeing this man was projected into probably a bigger role than was expected of him also. Rulon was supposed to score the inside points for this team this year. Hinson now has been expected to do it.
How can you fault Matty Gugas for Rulon's injury? Coming. Saving it is Pierce. Good move by Ricky Pierce. He saved an errant pass and found his way free for a jumper, and he's hit his last 4.
Well, when he comes off the bench, you know you better play some tough D against Ricky Pierce.
8 points for Pierce. 45-39. Julius Erving against Pierce. Cummings with a big height advantage on Wingate. But there's Barkley. Good pass from Wingate.
And not getting a lot of offense out of the low post game, the 76ers.
Surprised at that.
Yep. They should be going right up on the catch.
Pressey. And another rebound by Barkley. He's got 5 for him. 4 minutes remaining in the half. It's 45-41. Barkley gets inside, and Cummings fights him. Wingate misses. Julius Erving. And the Sixers still going at it and finally score after getting 5 chances.
That's Dr. J at his best from the forward spot, rebounding.
And now it's 45-43. And the jumper by Pierce. So Ricky Pierce now has hit 5 straight hoops to give Milwaukee a little breathing room.
They are not giving 100% attention to Ricky Pierce. And he's making them hurt.
Alley-oop from Cheeks to Dr. J. And it's 47-45. The Doctor with 10 points. Julius Erving, who missed the open jumper a year ago, as the Bucks won in 7 games. Remembers that game and wants to make amends this time. And a chance for the Sixers to tie the score with under 3 minutes to play in the half.
Now, the Bucks have their bigger lineup in there, even with all those guards.
Hinson fails to tie the score. Rebound by Sixers. Here's Pierce, and they let him shoot again. Rebound, long rebound for Cheeks. 3-on-2 break. Charles Barkley trying to follow it up, and a foul is called against Milwaukee. And a loose ball foul is a timeout call. 2:34 remaining. First half. Until at the half with Pat O'Brien, who is down in Atlanta, Georgia, getting ready to work part of that second game. Right now, let's go to Pat.
All right, Dick, we're down in Georgia. We are down in Georgia, ready to bring you some Southern hospitality on At the Half. We're going to take you back in the NBA and look at a couple of momentous events that occurred in the NBA. A lot of sports news around the NBA and around the sporting world. We'll catch you up to date on all that. And a hilarious piece on Frank Layden, Bill Raftery at the half.
Coming up at the half.
You know, I think Spud Webb has all the makings of taking over Pat O'Brien at the half, John.
Doesn't have the mustache, though. Dr. J on the board. When he's a forward, he feels secure in going to the rebound and not having to worry about getting back on defense to stop the fast break. That turns him loose, and I think he's using it to good advantage. And here you're going to see the flip side of the mismatch, a good leaper against a small man at that forward position, and Dr. J says, you can't stop him.
Tommy, at the outset, you talked about how Milwaukee had to watch out for Philadelphia's strength inside. And this is what it's resulted in. The offensive rebounding edge, a big one, 9-1, and resulting in 6 points.
They're overcommitting to blocking Barkley out, and they're letting the other big guys loose underneath there.
Philadelphia looking again to tie. They've been down by as many as 11. Julius Erving. Finger roll doesn't go. And Sixers again are foiled with 2:20 to play in the half. Pressey goes behind around Wingate. Offensive foul against the Bucks. That's only the 4th team foul. And Don Nelson has been tossed out of the game. 2 technicals, he's gone. Don Nelson has been hit with 2 technicals and is out of the game with 2:14 remaining in the first half. He had to be restrained by Del Harris, who will take over now.
Here's the play, and if a complete shot, there was no question about it. But when you are as emotional as this game has become for Don Nelson because of his situation, his boiling point perhaps a little bit too low. And he just boiled over. And Earl Strum said, take an early vacation.
Well, we're going to discuss the Don Nelson situation, and Del Harris will take over the team now. He was the coach of the Houston Rockets when they lost to the Celtics in the 81 finals in 6 games. And Tommy, I've got to think that both of these coaches, Gukas and Nelson, and we haven't gotten into the Nelson story, but we will, even though they put it on the back burner, have to be affected by all that's been swirling around and having to do that and also coach a team in the playoffs.
Distractions. You don't need distractions like these stories to really thwart your concentration on what you have to do.
David Wingate. And it's going to be Milwaukee's ball. And once again, the Sixers miss a chance to take the lead. They're down by 1, 47-46, 1 under 2 minutes to play.
Lucas is not in the ball game to give him that penetrating, real quick up the court offense to Bucks. That's why they're slowing down.
Moncrief left open when they double Sigma. And they call the foul on Pierce, and Hinson had hit Pierce, I believe, after the whistle. A loose ball foul against Pierce.
They are trying to move Barkley out of there any way they can. And you're going to see right now, I guess it was Hinson, and Pierce trying to create room for himself for the rebound. He let an elbow fly.
But Pierce did hold off Hinson first. Hinson. Again, Philadelphia with another chance to take the lead. And Sigma with 9 rebounds. Back to Milwaukee. Pressey fouled inside. This crowd is really getting on the edge of its seat. Nelson has been ejected, and they don't like the way the fouls have been called.
That's what a coach will do sometime. I don't think he wanted to deliberately get thrown out of this ball game, but an after effect is to leave a surly crowd and hopes that it'll affect the referees, but they're too season tested.
Pressey misses the first free throw. The personal was on Irving, his second. And the Sixers, who are down by 11, midway through the second period, have had countless chances to take the lead, and they've been held off by Milwaukee each time. And now looking to tie the score.
Here's a matchup that the Sixers ought to be able to use effectively.
Robinson posting up on Pierce. Hinson has his shot blocked by Sigma. Here's a fast break for Milwaukee. Moncrief. Under a minute to go, and the Bucks are up by 4.
Pressey has taken John Lucas's pushman role.
Cheeks. And Sigma now in double 11 rebounds. And Dorsey loses it out of bounds, and credit David Wingate with some superb defensive play in the open court. 20 seconds on the shot clock. In a 4-point Milwaukee lead, the Sixers have not had the lead in this half. Irving with a runner, scoop shot, and Julius leads the Sixers with 13 points, and now it's down to 2.
They have not really been totally able to get that low post game together, the Sixers. They're not scoring effectively out of there. It's been mostly on penetration moves.
10 seconds on the clock, a differential of 3.5 seconds with the game clock. Sigma, basket, counts, and a foul. Del Harris now running the Bucks.
He has made Jack Sigma some outstanding moves to the middle and to the basket to create foul situations.
Foul is on Barkley, his second. Philadelphia in the penalty, and Sigma, with a tremendous first half, has 15 points and 11 rebounds with a shot here. It's 53-48 after Philadelphia had come within one. Sixers looking for the last shot. And Barkley is fouled, and that will result in a 2-shot situation. So the Sixers will get a chance to get 2 free throws with 1 second to go. The foul is on Moncrief.
That was not a smart foul by the Bucks. They should have really just played them tough, make them work the ball up, and not attack them as they did.
That was the foul that put him over the limit. And Barkley on the free throw line. Tony comes in for Cheeks with 1 second to play.
And Tony is in right now just to make sure that Moncrief doesn't go and alley-oop with the long pass.
(53-50). 1 second to go. And it would have counted, and it's gone in. And that's the end of the first half here in Milwaukee, where we've already had fireworks galore. With the score, the Bucks 53 and the Sixers 50. Pat O'Brien will be back with the Prudential at the half from the Omni in Atlanta after this message.
Lakers finals in 1970? Knicks fans do. They also remember how Willis Reed came hobbling back inside Madison Square Garden to lead his team on to victory. It was indeed the miracle on 34th Street. Oh, he only scored 4 points, the first 4, but that seemed enough for his teammates who picked up the slack and the emotion and the win. Knicks fans remember this time like it was yesterday. And what a difference he made that night. What a difference a week makes, huh? Last week about this very time, we were touting Dallas as the beat the Lakers team. Now the Mavs were upset by the surprising Seattle Supersonics. They went into Houston yesterday and beat the Rockets at home. Let's take a look at this series now, and your tour guide is James Brown.
Fresh from their first-round upset of the Dallas Mavericks, the Seattle Supersonics, a hungry group of unheralded players, came to Houston and stole Game 1 in their Western Conference semifinal with the Rockets. An emerging superstar with the Sonics is 6'7" guard Dale Ellis, who's continued his high-scoring ways. Now, while Ellis has paced the way offensively, it's been Seattle's all-out aggressive style of defense that's paid big dividends. Here, the Sonics keep the Rockets in check at the end of regulation, forcing the game into overtime.
We feel great. You know, we're an emotional high from the Dallas victory. We just didn't want to have any mental letdowns, emotional letdowns from that, and we didn't. We came out playing an enthusiastic basketball. If we continue to play this way, we're going to be okay.
In overtime, the ever-present Ellis gets an excellent pass to help Seattle start to pull away. And it was Ellis again who closed the door on the Rockets with this three-pointer to make it 109-104 as Coach Bernie Bickerstaff's troops are victorious in Game 1.
Well, I don't know. We're just having a lot of fun, and hopefully we can come back out, like I said, and solidify things and continue to execute offensively and defensively, and who knows.
So Seattle will try to keep its upset string alive as they take on the Rockets in Game 2 Tuesday night here in Houston. Reporting for At the Half, I'm James Brown.
All right, let's stay out west for a while and have some fun. How do you describe a guy who once says, "I don't jog because I want to be sick when I die"? Or who claims he asked a player once for his church preference, and the player said, "red brick"? Or a guy who's so overweight he got on a scale one time, one of those ones that gives you your fortune, and the fortune said, "come back next time alone." How do you describe Frank Layden? Bill Raftery volunteered for this one. Raft at the half.
This is the slimmed-down Frank Layden at practice, but his former 300-pound girth is still a source of mirth.
People say in Salt Lake that they're happy you fight opponents better than you fight the bulge.
Oh, you're not kidding. I'll tell you, I go up and down. It's unbelievable. You know, last week I was standing on a corner, and I was wearing a blue suit and a yellow hat. 4 people came over and dropped off film.
His weight was really no laughing matter. So last summer, he shed 85 pounds, but he still knows every restaurant around the league.
It's not easy to keep up with you.
Well, I love it here because they get all these different ethnic foods, and I think they held a kale peptade festival here last year. I'm not sure.
I understand the Jazz pregame meals are something to see.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't eat with the team. That would be more than I could stand. It's bad enough watching them play.
He doesn't always see the whole game. Last month in Dallas, he was ejected. His farewell theatrics cost him $1,000, but it was worth it.
And he raises his hand to the applause of the crowd. Frank Layden.
I hope that we can make people laugh. I think we can excite people. I hope that when they leave the arena, they say, hey, Frank did a good job. He gave us a good day. He gave us some money's worth.
It's no wonder spectators love Layden. He started a Nuggets rooter after the fan won a halftime shooting contest.
I grabbed him. I pulled him in the huddle. We were down by about 25. So I said, son, you're doing very well tonight, and we're doing lousy. So I sent him out. And the referees were about to put the ball in play, and then all of a sudden they stopped the game and realized what happened.
During the Golden State and Jazz series, it was more like a prize fight at times, and one of the nights, Frank Layden opened the game with a Groucho Marx nose and glasses.
Well, to tell you the truth, I wanted to get a laugh out of the people, and I thought I could maybe diffuse what could have been a very tough situation.
Layden's humor is not fully appreciated, where they hand out the fines.
Commissioner Stern, if you are listening, if I say good things, do I get money back?
For CBS Sports, I'm Bill Raftery.
I'll tell you one thing, that commissioner's a semi-good guy.
And he can coach as well. A couple of notes before we get back to the game now. Kevin McHale, it turns out, now has a hairline fracture in his right foot. He also has a right sprained ankle. His condition is said to be day-to-day. Kentucky Derby favorite Demons Begon is resting comfortably now after pulling up during yesterday's race because of bleeding. They're going to make a decision in about a week or so whether or not the colt will run in the Preakness. And some sad news this afternoon. Hernell Jeep Jackson, a member of Texas El Paso's basketball team, died suddenly yesterday after a practice game. An autopsy and toxicology test is pending. Jackson was 23 years old. A commercial and a station break.
If you can dream it, you can do it. Today, the Prudential can show you a new world of financial opportunities. Look to the Rock for mutual funds, stocks and bonds. Feel its strength in CDs, insurance and mortgages. With the right choices, the right guidance, the sky's the limit. The Prudential. Your Rock in financial services.
This is CBS.
Are you looking for a great chicken? Not me, Gail. Now shoot. And I will say, if you want great chicken, go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. They're famous for finger-licking good chicken, and with great fixings like hot buttermilk biscuits and fresh coleslaw. The Colonel's is always a great place to get a great meal. You see, great chicken's not so hard to find. Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right. She talked me into it. Yeah.
It all starts when Dan's girlfriend asks him to spend a week with her in a tropical paradise, only he can't go because he flunks chemistry. Then his teacher says it's okay, but he misses the flight, so he gets there late and she's already at sea. No! So he goes after her in this insane sailor's old boat and gets caught in the storm. Then he tries to get to her by air, but the plane's hijacked. Then he gets thrown in jail and the sailor blows up the jail. They get him out and they both escape in a jeep with half the country chasing after them. Then he finally tracks down his hero, but he's got to rescue her and meet evil smuggler types who stole her family's yacht and have lots of guns. And then you'll never guess what happens. John Cusack, Robert Loggia, Hot Pursuit, rated PG-13.
Starts Friday, May 8th at select theaters. Check your newspaper for showtime.
Why make 2 trips? And why wait? At LensCrafters, you can have quality eyeglasses in about an hour. Even tough prescriptions like trifocals and bifocals. Listen.
I've gotten bifocals, and I've gotten less than an hour.
Less than 45 minutes. 50 to 55 minutes.
It was fast, but it wasn't rushed.
Why make 2 trips?
LensCrafters, Barton Creek Mall, Highland Mall, and the Arboretum.
Join David Walker for the Channel 7 News Weekend Report.
We're at halftime in Milwaukee, and the Bucks lead the 76ers in a thrilling game, 53-50, in the deciding game of this first round of the playoffs. We talked earlier about Matty Gukas being in doubt, continuing as the 76ers head coach. Don Nelson is in the same boat. There is a feeling that Don Nelson wants to leave Milwaukee after many years here and 7 straight division titles until this season and move on to some other place. There apparently has been a breach with the owner of the team, Herb Cole, and they've been talk of compensation if Don Nelson can get out of his contract, which still has several years to run. On top of that, he has been thrown out by Earl Strom as a result of this play in the first half of the game. There's Julius Erving defending, and Ricky Pierce charging in was called for the offensive foul, and as a result of that play, it was actually Paul Pressey. Don Nelson went into a rage and was thrown out of the game. James Brown is outside of the Milwaukee dressing room. James, do you have an update on this thing?
Okay, Dick, indeed, I talked with 3 of the players and 1 assistant coach when they came out of the locker room. They indicated that Don Nelson had regained his composure and spent most of the halftime talking X's and O's, strategy and tactics. I did ask the players and the assistant coach very candidly about the low boiling point and his relationship with Herb Cole. They begged off of that question. They said they would like to think that Don Nelson has spent 7 years here. His experience would serve him well in this kind of situation, and he wouldn't let it affect him. Back to you, Dick.
Thank you, JB. You know, Tommy, there are a lot of conditions in the contract that Don Nelson has. 2 years, no compete, where he can't coach or be player personnel director. There are a lot of complications in the Don Nelson situation. How can you sort this out at this point?
I think what's going on with Don Nelson is that he's a very emotional guy. He throws himself into a situation 100%. I think his relationship with the owner has been frustrated. It's not a good working relationship. I think he wants to leave, and I think not to leave to go to another team. He may just want to take a couple of years off and do some fishing. I think he's a classic, needs to get his batteries recharged type of situation.
All right, one of the many stories we have here in this deciding game. Don Nelson, who's out of the game. And we'll be back with the second half coming up in just a moment.
Look to northwest. We'll fly you to London or New York or Tokyo. More places than ever to go. Look to northwest. Come fly with us. You'll always be our guest. Fly with us. Look to us. Northwest.
What you are about to see really puts a man's antiperspirant to the test. A perfect place to test new Trust for Men antiperspirant. Check it out. No matter what makes you sweat, new Trust for Men is powerful protection. It checks wetness. It checks odor. It is total protection. You can trust. Trust new Trust in stick, roll-on, and spray. Get the total protection of Trust for Men.
They're coming. The cameras of America are coming. The cast aside, the unused, the forgotten. They're being drawn to camera stores everywhere by a remarkable offer on the incredible Polaroid Spectra system. For a limited time, any camera in any condition is worth $20 stored as Spectra at your local camera store. Imagine $20 off a Spectra. It's an offer few will be able to resist. The Polaroid Spectra system.
When you see a player headed for trouble, you call timeout. Timeout!
That way you stop mistakes that lose games.
Works in life, too. When you see a friend take the wheel after too many drinks, you know where he's headed. Arrest. Humiliation. A heavy price to pay. When you see a friend headed for that kind of trouble, call timeout.
Stop the mistakes that'll cost him a lot more than a game.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1987 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft, cold-filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. Renault and Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA. And by Price Feister, the fabulous faucet with a funny name.
Tommy, as we start the third period, Milwaukee leading by 3. This game has a strong resemblance to the other night when Milwaukee had a big lead early with great shooting, and Philadelphia hung in there. They are out shooting them 58% to 40, and Philadelphia hanging right in there.
I think with that smaller unit of the Sixers, they climb back in with aggressive defense and fast break basketball.
Cummings. Sigma trying to keep it alive. Good offensive rebounding by the Bucks. And it's been Philadelphia mostly off the offensive glass, but Milwaukee can't convert, and now the Sixers in a position to cut it to 1.
The Sixers, however, have their big team in there right now. Dr. J in the backcourt, that's going to slow them down a little bit. They got to really capitalize once again with the inside game.
Which is the way they feel that they can win this game, as Robinson drives strong to the hoop, has 14 points, and is now the leading scorer for Philadelphia. The Bucks have lost both games while leading at halftime. That's not a good omen for them. And a foul is called against Julius Erving, and that's number 3 on the docket. At the beginning, we talked about the multitude of stories. Julius Erving, possibly in his last game. Maybe the same for Gukas and Nelson, the coaches. Nelson's been tossed out. That's what you have in a deciding game of the series. Great penetration by Moncrief in the basket and foul.
When you double team and the ball gets swung to the point where it's going right now to Moncrief, and then you rush at the man, that allows him to gain a step and get right into the defense, and nobody on the 76ers got to Moncrief quick enough.
Foul is on McCormick, his second, and so McCormick, starting, played only 11 minutes in the first period. Moncrief with the three-point play, and it's 56-52 in favor of the Bucks.
No, Moncrief is the type of guy that's going to take this total control of this game right now.
Lucas on the steal, gets 2 easy ones, and the Sixers come out flat. Careless offensively. 58-52. Cheeks goes the distance.
Well, what a great competitor. The Bucks put the press on, and Cheeks just beat 3 of the Bucks up the court with his fast dribble.
2 for 8 from the field in the first half. Moncrief with a great move baseline.
Dr. J does not feel comfortable guarding a little guard.
Philadelphia really can't use that quick lineup all the time.
Well, I don't know why not.
Robinson misses. Moncrief outfights Barkley for the rebound.
Moncrief asserting himself.
Going for 3 is Moncrief. Sigma with a long rebound. And Cliff Robinson the rebound for Philadelphia. It's 60-54. Sixers down by 6 and have never tasted the lead in this one. Pressey on Barkley, the big matchup Tommy was talking about. Barkley scored 10 points in the first half. Pressey did the job. Irving from the corner, and the doctor now, 15.
Good, fast swing of the ball after Barkley was double-teamed to find Dr. J open on the baseline.
Sigma not only doing the job point-wise with 16 to lead the Bucks, but off the boards as well. Moncrief. Now the Sixers trying to cut it to a pair. Lucas on Cheeks. Isolating Cheeks and Lucas. Now in the low post is Barkley. Now he's isolated with Pressey.
It's amazing that Pressey moves him out off the box so easily.
And a foul called against Philadelphia. A loose ball foul. As Julius missed from the corner. Foul is on Robinson, and we'll be back with 8:49 to go. Third period.
It's real. I know it's real.
The
was a time when there was only one kind of beer. Rich, smooth draft beer. It wasn't pasteurized or tampered with. It was just real beer. Miller Genuine Draft is as real as that. It's not heat pasteurized like most other beers. It's cold filtered, so it's as rich and smooth as only real draft beer can be. Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets.
Well, fancy this. Faucets, so fabulous, they appear to cost a fortune, but don't. For these are Price Pfister faucets. Far more than pretty faces. They're forged with a heart of solid brass, so you'll discover they're very fuss-free. All this at prices that make them a find, a real find. So do yourself a favor. Get a Price Pfister, the fabulous faucet with a funny name.
Jeep Cherokee has just been reborn. It can now be ordered with a 4-liter, 6-cylinder, 173-horsepower engine. Nothing in Cherokee's class even comes close. In fact, with this engine and a choice of 2 or 4 doors and 2 shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive systems, you could say nothing's in Cherokee's class.
Now get 3.9 financing or up to $600 cash back on select Jeep Cherokees.
Can you help me? The guy is killing innocent women. What does he turn to me?
Making you feel guilty.
That woman died in my arms. The Equalizer returns Wednesday.
Sidney Moncrief will take the game over, much like a Larry Bird does for the Celtics and Magic for the Lakers. And here's the speed being exploited against Dr. J, who does not like to go out and play those guards. He got caught with a half a step and it was all over. Now here's the situation I think the Sixers are not taking advantage of, a mismatch. Barkley is giving up that low post position too easily. He gets pushed out too far out. It's easy for them to drop down and double team him and take the ball out of his hands.
The matchup with Barkley and Pressey looks like that, with Barkley having the edge right now, although 10 points. Pretty good job in the first half, basically, because Barkley, who can dominate and take over a game, wasn't able to do that in the first half. Credit Pressey for that. You still think that Moncrief, even at this stage, can still take over a game like that?
Don Nelson said he's only 75% of what he was, but he's playing his best basketball of the season.
Sigma double teamed in trouble. And the 24-second clock did not expire. He got the shot off, but the Sixers clamped down on Sigma, as well they should, with the kind of game he's having. Pass goes away. It's still Philadelphia ball, 60-56. This is a tight, fought game in this deciding first-round matchup, all even at 2 apiece.
Very important for the Bucks that Lucas have his hands on the ball every once in a while, too, to try and create penetration moves.
Robinson outside, unusual spot for him, working against Cummings and forces the shot. Bad shot by Cliff Robinson, and here comes Lucas doing what you said he should do, forcing the play. The rebound. Now Cheeks at the other end. Sigma back defensively. The trailer is Barkley. Oh! And there's Robinson. And Robinson is fouled.
This unit of the 76ers that is on the court right now is the slowest team. They've had real difficulty fast breaking, getting a third man up. Dr. J is out there, and Barkley is hustling up as fast as he can, but the defense is there to cut him off. And here's a good move by Robinson to clean up rebounder, ends up getting fouled.
Foul is on Moncrief, his third, and Robinson misses the first free throw. Ricky Pierce, who scored 10 points coming off the bench in the first half, replaces Moncrief, who has scored 9, and Tommy already explained what kind of game he's been playing.
He has been their blue-collar worker here for so long. He plays with no fear. He's not afraid to play against the 7-footer. They're going to miss him even for a couple of minutes.
What about Cummings? We saw the graphic showing how Robinson's numbers dwarf that of Cummings, and Don Nelson told us that Cummings has to get 8 or 10 rebounds, otherwise we can't win.
They have not really gone to Cummings an awful lot offensively today.
He scored 20 of his 29 in the first half the other night, and a steal by Cliff Robinson. Foot race with Pressey. Sigma the rebound. Robinson couldn't convert, and it's knocked away by Robinson, causing the turnover. Against Sigma, Robinson. Again missed, but there's Barkley. And there's the offensive rebounding strength strongly in favor of Philadelphia here.
They're missing some easy shots, the Sixers, but they're hanging tough.
60-59. The Milwaukee lead down to 1. At one point, it was 11 in the second period. And now an illegal defense call against Philadelphia. Each side has been hit with 1. Next time will be a technical.
Timeout.
Matty Gukas under fire. Some people say a decision has been made, win or lose, on Matty Gukas.
That's the first call against.
We'll announce the final cuts after tomorrow's practice.
I can't sleep and not laying, I think.
You got to start hitting from out there, Harris.
Oh, I need a drink of cool, cool rain.
The way to stay cool is clear.
7-Up, it's so good, coming down. Rain on me, yeah.
If you got an itch, scratch it.
Save the clam.
What's with Wiley?
It's the Monroe Save the Clam sale. Buy Monroe shocks and struts now and save a pile of clams.
Great, more clams for the clam bake. Clam bake?
Nice going.
See your Monroe ride expert today.
You could buy a $100,000 sweeper to clean up around your house.
Hey, look out, Marge! I'm coming through!
Sure, it cleans driveways and patios quickly and easily, but so does the Litter Critter from ShopVac. A revolutionary new way to clean dirt and debris from outdoor surfaces without electricity or batteries. And when you're finished, the Litter Critter stays out of your way.
You didn't buy that, Herbert! I'm not crazy! I leased it!
The Litter Critter, a sweeping improvement from ShopVac.
Some of you will see the 5th and deciding game of the Golden State Warriors and Utah Jazz. And, of course, Golden State can become the first team in 32 years to come back from an 0-2 deficit and win if they win that game. The winner will play the Lakers on Tuesday, but Seattle already has a 1-0 lead over the Houston Rockets, winning in Houston yesterday. Your impression of that series so far?
I am so surprised at Seattle. They are bringing an attitude to this next round against the Rockets that is totally surprising. I think Dale Ellis's attitude of the three-point bomb at all costs with no fear of taking it is carrying over to the rest of them in every phase of the game. They are going to give the Houston Rockets what for in this thing, and they may be the total surprise of that conference.
And as we told you, some of you will see the Warriors and the Jazz. Most of you will see game 1 of what should be a sizzling series between the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks coming up next on CBS.
Boy, are you going to see some running in that series?
And the winner of this game will play the Boston Celtics Tuesday night in the beginning of their best-of-7 Eastern Series. Sigma, good defense by McCormick. Rebound by Cliff Robinson. McCormick did the job inside against Big Jack.
Boston to the left hand.
6:35 remaining in the third period, and the Sixers are looking to take their first lead of the game.
Barkley outside, it doesn't have an advantage over Presti.
Loose ball into the hands of Cummings. So once again, Philadelphia had a chance. Piersmith. Rebound by Paul Presti. Sigma pops outside and hits. 16 rebounds and 18 points for Jack Sigma, who keeps the Sixers at bay once again.
And John Lucas is still in that ball game. One of the decisions Don Nelson said he was going to make was he might go with 3 big guards and take Lucas out.
Julius off the glass, no good. The rebound, Sigma. Lucas with a chance to break. Cummings. And Cheeks knocks it out of bounds. No foul.
Cheeks had them all. What a great defensive play by Mo Cheeks to cut off the angle. And he's going to do it against the big guy. Look at him just push him out and then get his hand waist high on the ball.
The Bucks shot 58% in the first half. Only 4 of 17 right now. Lucas. And there's a foul. Philadelphia foul will be their 4th team foul, and it's on Maurice Cheeks, his 3rd personal.
That's 3 on 2.
Tommy, the Sixers went to the line 50 times in Game 4, a lot more than what Milwaukee did, and looks like the fans feel that the Bucks, the hometown Bucks, are getting the short end of it.
I don't think they really have a gripe in that department because the Bucks type of game is an outside shooting type of game, and the 76ers will power it to the basket, moving into the lane. They're trying to create more foul situations with the Bucks by penetrating and getting it to Sigma, who's swinging to the hoop more.
A little less than 6 minutes remaining, third period. Cliff Robinson, great block by Pressey. He stuffed Robinson all the way on that play. Lucas, coming. Only the 6 point for Terry Cummings, but it gives Milwaukee a little more breathing room. 65-59. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. This is the fifth and deciding game of a series between familiar rivals, Philadelphia and Milwaukee. Cheeks will go to the line and shoot 2.
Paul Pressey will get to this man very quickly. There's the quick speed of Pressey getting to the double team and protecting the reverse side of the basket. I mean, that is intelligent defense.
Milwaukee has had a big edge in block shots that has been simply the domain of the Sixers until this contest. Cheeks is on the line after Sigma picked up his third personal foul. And a crazy quilt series, as Tommy Heinsohn mentioned at the outset, when either team could have won in 3 straight, and neither club has been able to hold the lead. Milwaukee led by 11 in the first half. Philadelphia has not had the lead, and it's been just simply a wild first-round playoff. Pressey with a screen from Cummings. Hinson in the game fights through. Pressey open.
What a weapon that is, Dick, to penetrate and then kick it out to the good outside shooters the Bucks have.
And the lead is 6. Here's who's on the floor. It's Cheeks and David Wingate up in the backcourt for Philadelphia. Barkley, Hinson, and Robinson up front. And a Milwaukee foul. The Bucks have Ricky Pierce, Lucas, Pressey, Sigma, and Cummings. And Sigma has just picked up his 4th personal foul.
Now that is very important. You're going to see Sigma now fighting for that rebound position. Both Hinson, it looked more like that Ricky Pierce did it than Sigma.
Brewer is in and Sigma goes out. He has scored 18 points, has 18 rebounds. And the Bucks cannot afford more foul trouble from that man.
Randy Brewer will have to bend his knees and play quick.
Cheeks misses, then a loose ball foul against Philadelphia. And the foul is against Roy Hinson. Second. Cliff Robinson is second. We told you the Philadelphia quintet. Again, Milwaukee with Lucas, Pierce, Pressey, Cummings, and Brewer. And Sigma on the bench with 4 fouls.
You know, Terry Cummings has posed a big problem. He'll be shooting the free throws. But he's got a medical problem with a heart situation, arrhythmia. And the next thing you know, he's only allowed, the doctors say, to play 34 minutes. So Don Nelson has had to coach around that situation. After 34 minutes, he hits the wall fatigue-wise, and he quite just doesn't give it to you. So they've had to coach around that problem all season long. In fact, since he's been in Milwaukee.
And a tough problem because in the playoffs, you like your starters to maybe play 40 minutes, and that has been a dilemma for the Bucks coaching staff.
And be strong at the end of the ballgame, and I'm not so sure that Cummings can deliver.
So that's why you'll see him on the bench a lot in the 4th period when you say, why isn't he there? Wingate throws up a wild shot. He was looking for the foul. Good defense by the Bucks. Milwaukee on a 9-2 run now. And leading by 8 points with 3:45 remaining in the third. Cummings off the side of the board. Cheeks pushing it up. Has Barkley and Wingate. Decided not to push it.
Great move by Lucas. He shielded him right out of the paint.
Hinson doubled now against Brewer and his foul. Good strong move, and that man, by the way, is Del Harris, who's taken over as coach of the Bucks after Don Nelson was ejected in the 2nd period.
Here comes good defense by Milwaukee. Terry Cummings hustling to stop the penetrator, and look at Lucas just move him out and away from the paint. I mean, you got to have your feet underneath you to do that.
Brewer the foul, and here's Roy Hinson. And if You're wondering about Hinson. He was acquired from the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for the #1 pick in the draft this past year. A big pressure move by Philadelphia. And that draft choice translated into Brad Daugherty.
The Bucks can smell it right here.
By Cheeks. Wingate ahead of the field. And as he draws the foul. And now with 3:15 to go, Philadelphia refuses to wilt. And the foul is on Cummings, his third, and the Bucks in the penalty.
Here is a good block shot opportunity by Mo Cheeks, who does an outstanding job. Probably plays Lucas better than anybody in the league right now because he knows him for so long.
Wingate. Moncrief coming back in the game and Pressey going out. David Wingate has given the 76ers a tremendous boost this year. The 44th pick in the draft. And has really been a tremendous defensive whiz.
When he's in there with Cheeks, that's probably their most active, aggressive, guard tandem to produce steals.
The shooting has dropped for both sides dramatically for Milwaukee. That's defense here. That's what the D has meant in the second half. Pierce. Cheeks is there. No one underneath for Milwaukee, and a chance for Philadelphia to cut the lead to 4. Hinson stuffs it through, and it's 69-65, 2:50 remaining in the third.
Brewer was slow getting back that time, and Hinson just beat him.
Loose ball into the hands of Wingate. Finds Cheeks, and it's a 2-point ball game now. 69-67, and all of a sudden, Del Harris wants a timeout. The Sixers coming back so much like game number 4.
This is something new for us, something bigger. It's called Medallion. When you compare its passenger and cargo room to the competition, a lot of that competition falls away. Compare horsepower, a lot more disappear. And when you consider that Medallion comes with a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty, you just might end up right here.
Now, limited time offer on Medallion, 3.9% factory financing.
It's real. I know it's real. No other reason for the way I feel. Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets. Feel good. That's all right.
The best things are the real thing, and draft beer is the real beer. Miller Genuine Draft.
Oh, yeah. It's as real as it gets. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Minwax brings out wood's rich, warm glow, so it's as beautiful to look at as it is to touch. Wood finish by Minwax penetrates deep into wood, so it's easy to get outstanding results. And when topped with our own polyurethane, Minwax protects against life's hard knocks and tough spills, letting wood's natural beauty show through.
Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Tonight on CBS. If you didn't read about it or hear about it, it's time you did. Murder Ordained, based on a true story.
Hinson is going to provide some speed at the center spot. He's going to outrace Randy Brewer, probably the slowest player on the Bucks staff. But what really makes this happen is Cheeks, their best ball handler, ends up with the rebound and immediately makes the good pass to allow this type of play to work. The trailer, fourth man up, making a layup.
Been kind of a game of streaks is the way it settled in the recent moments. After a 9-2 run by the Bucks, Philadelphia has scored 6 in a row and are within 2 of the lead in the trap shown by Philadelphia for the first time today. And no turnover. It's last touch by David Wingate, but they came awfully close, did the Sixers.
And Milwaukee really got caught by surprise because Brewer ends up there trying to handle it against the press. That normally doesn't happen. And Wingate almost picks it off.
2:20 in the third period. They double and rush at Pierce, and the illegal defense called against Philadelphia, and that's a technical foul. against the Sixers. Second time it's been called.
It looked like there were two players on, two defenders on two offensive men going to the basket. Didn't look like an illegal defense to me. If it was only for a 1 count.
Ricky Pierce shooting the technical. Nearly won the free throw title. That's not how he nearly won it, though. Del Harris running things for Don Nelson, who was ejected from the game with 2:14 of the second period. Matty Gukas trying to see if the Sixers can take one more step. They quickly double on Brewer. Nearly a bad pass. Moncrief making up for it, draws the foul. Philadelphia, what are they doing? They're doubling at the last second, it appears.
They're trying to really go and attack the ball, particularly if a big man's got it. They're trying to take away the outside shot and then get back quick and deny the penetration. And that time they ended up fouling Moncrief, but only after he was forced to take a most difficult shot.
Hartley's third foul, and we're looking at a lot of brave people out there, and maybe Sidney Moncrief is amongst the top. They said he would never play again. We mentioned he's in only 39 games this year, and here he is doing what he can in the deciding game. Under 2 minutes to go in the period. Moncrief made one, and Philadelphia trailing.
I don't believe Philadelphia has truly exploited their low-post strength game as well as they could. Everybody gets knocked off the box too easily and doesn't turn to the hoop effectively.
Barkley from Wingate missing. Cummings with a rebound. Milwaukee with the ball and a 3-point advantage. Lucas finding an open Moncrief. Draws the foul again. Both sides have been in the penalty. And Sidney will shoot again.
Lucas is a creator. He can spot an open man from 90 feet away. Now, where is Dr. J going to play? Is he going to be a guard or a forward? He's coming in for Robinson, so it's going to be very effective. He gave them speed to the fast break. That was there when they scored the easiest baskets in this game and also in game number 4 when he played the forward spot.
Irving back in at forward now. Started the game at guard. He has 15 points. But 11 came in the second period when he played the forward position. Moncrief makes both free throws. And with a minute and a half to go, it's 72-67. Philadelphia has flirted with taking over the lead in this game many times, but have not been able to convert. On the shot clock. Barkley. Irving. Cheeks will have to put it up with 3 seconds on the clock and misses. Randy Brewer with the rebound.
They packed in the defense, and the Sixers were forced to take the outside shot.
Pierce. Tipped out to Wingate. And Lucas stopped his trail going up court. And Cheeks is limping in the backcourt for Philadelphia. Traveling is called, but the concern has to be on Matty Gukas' part, on Cheeks, who is hobbling up court.
We have seen both Cheeks through the years play with all kinds of injuries. He's not coming out of there.
He's got a finger in a splint and a shooting hand. Lucas misses a 3-point attempt, but there's Moncrief. Wingate with a good defense. 29 seconds to go in the period and 19 on the shot clock. 5-point Milwaukee lead. They have led all the way, as much as 11. Cheeks goes up without the ball. Lucas is fouled.
The Bucks have swallowed up Mo Cheeks' penetration all afternoon long. He's lost the ball 3 or 4 times, and when he hasn't, he still has not come up with a good shot.
Here's where Cheeks might have gotten hit.
Well, he gets knocked down and trying to defend against the guy in a low post. And maybe he got stepped on there to boot.
Hinson committed the foul on Lucas, who makes the first free throw. Cliff Robinson comes back in for Hinson. And Paul McKeskey in for the first time for Milwaukee. So Cummings getting his needed rest, Tommy, with 14 seconds to go in the third. What does McKeskey give the Bucks?
McKeskey gives him defense. He's particularly good at playing the low post people, and he also gets on the ball pretty effectively.
And now, when you bring in Robinson for Hinson,
The Sixers are going small. They're playing with the small team. Robinson's going to be the center, and now Brewer will have to stay with Barkley.
How many people think 6'9" is small? You're right. Robinson misses the shot at the buzzer. That's the end of the third period with the score, the Bucks 74, Philadelphia 67. And we'll return to the Mecca after this word from your local station. Don Nelson was ejected. Philadelphia scored only 17 points in the third period. And for Julius Erving, this may be the final 12 minutes of an amazing career. Believe it or not, was a first-round pick by the Milwaukee Bucks, and a lot of people may not recall that.
They're going to root him home, these Bucks fans. It's going to be a very emotional fourth period here.
Tommy, we talked about 6'9" as part of a small lineup.
It's in relation to the man you're playing against. Normally, the smaller man has the speed, so size doesn't mean that much. It means in relation to somebody else you're defending against or that you're going to be going against.
Dudley Bradley, good defender, and can hit the long-range shot, has come in for the first time, and he commits a foul. With 20 seconds elapsed here in the final period, Andrew Toney is in the backcourt with Wingate, and Bradley steals the ball away on the pass going to Erving.
They have not effectively been able to get the ball in the low post, the 76ers, and that time they try to get it to Dr. J with a bad pass.
It's a small lineup for Milwaukee. Hodges against Toney. Moncrief inside on Wingate, and he's fouled. So here's who's in there for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Hodges and Moncrief in the backcourt, pressing up front. I'll give you the rest.
There is Dudley Bradley just kneeing Dr. J out, and then with those quick feet stepping into the passing lane. That's the difficulty when you're trying to low post small people. They use those dancing feet on you.
Wingate had committed his second foul.
Right now, you wonder, Dick, if Don Nelson, sitting in the locker room, what he's thinking about. He's got his fingers crossed. I've been through this situation. Not a playoff game, I don't remember, but I'm sure he'd love to be out here right now. He's hoping his team will take emotional inspiration from him being in the locker room.
9-point lead, Robinson. A blind reverse layup by Cliff Robinson, who has 17 points, the Sixers' top scorer, and it's 76-69. Milwaukee led by 7 after one period, 3 at the half, and 7 after 3. Bradley missed the three-pointer, and a Philadelphia foul following the shot. Hinson on the foul.
Molkeski going to get sandwiched for this rebound. He's the lone big guy in there for the Bucks right now, and he just went over the top of Hinson.
Moncrief double team. Milwaukee trying to find the open man. A three-point shot by Craig Hodges. A big basket by Hodges, and a 10-point lead for the Bucks.
The team the Bucks have on the court right now will spread anybody's defense.
Posting up is Hinson against McKeskey. Trying to take advantage of that matchup. And McKeskey, good D and the rebound. Hodges again. 2 points this time. A three-pointer. And a turnover. Philadelphia will want a timeout. Two three-point bombs by Craig Hodges.
Giving that extra effort makes winners. Be all you can be. Sponsored by the U.S. Army. Every player looks for an edge, but nothing is more comforting than the gift of creativity. Each possession unfolds new options and expands a growing repertoire. It also alerts defenders that no two plays may be alike. By striving for bigger and better moves, creativity is helping Ron Harper to be the best he can be.
Palpatine. Aggressor tank spotted.
In a battle drill, you need horsepower, firepower, people power. That's teamwork.
Moving tank, direct front, shoot down.
This team uses a computer, thermal sight, laser rangefinder.
We win, the whole tank wins. The whole team wins. Not just one person.
Find your future in the Army.
They've changed Craig Hodges' last basket to a two-point shot, so it's 81-69 with 9:50 to go. Meanwhile, coming up next on CBS, we'll see Game 1 between the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks. And Adrian Dantley, who has meant so much to the Pistons' inside game, and Dominique Wilkins, who has expanded his game this year, will be two of the principals in the game. And during the practice, Bud Webb, the accelerator, and Cliff Levingston with a little light moments before they really get down to business. Out west, some of you will see the fifth and deciding game between the Golden State Warriors, who have been sparked by Eric Floyd. Sleepy has averaged 20 points a game. A question mark for Utah is guard Ricky Green. Will he play today? We don't know. But Golden State will try to become the first team in 32 years to come from a 2-0 deficit and win a best-of-5 opening round. That's what's coming up next on CBS. This was a 2-point shot by Hodges.
That come right up fast. They spread the defense. You can't get out to them that quickly when they're lined up practically on the sideline. Great shooting from the outside by the Bucks.
Biggest lead of the game now for Milwaukee, and Philadelphia shooting only 37% for the ball game. It's still Milwaukee ball, and with 9:39 to go,
there's plenty of room for penetration right now by the Bucks. They're spreading the Sixer defense way out, and they'll be able to drive by perhaps.
Pressey didn't drive, hit the jump shot, and now it's 83-69.
What a tough matchup for Cliff Robinson to try and stay with a much quicker man.
14-2, Milwaukee has outscored Philadelphia. The Doctor, who may be in his last game, misses, and Barkley gets the rebound and is fouled.
What Milwaukee is doing is every time Barkley automatically gets the ball inside 5 feet, it's foul him before he can put it up.
Barkley has 12 points and 11 rebounds, but it really hasn't had any dominating moments to this game as he normally does. Underneath, stepped on the line. Turnover.
Molkeski showed him to the baseline and made him step out of bounds stick.
McKeskey has done quite a job in there defensively and off the boards. They don't expect anything fancy. Hodges for 3. Look at Sigma. Craig Hodges has scored 8 points on 2 3-point bombs, and the Bucks with a huge lead. This is Julius Erving's last game. I wonder what the thoughts are of this person who's with JB right now. Jake?
All right, Dick, and I'm going to try to find out. I'm with the stunning turquoise Irving, Julius's wife. Was Julius a little extra nervous this morning when you saw him before the game?
Well, I only saw him for a few minutes, and he wasn't really himself. I guess he probably was nervous.
Unless they put on a strong spurt, 16 years of illustrious career is coming to an end. Do you think he's kind of sad it's ending this way?
Well, I'm sure he would be sad. I'm sad because I would rather lose to Boston because they're such a great team. It's a rivalry there. So I would say, yes, he's sad. I'm sad, too. I would rather not end it here.
Turquoise Irving, Grace under pressure. Dick, back to you.
Thanks, JB. Pretty candid, I think. Tommy?
She knows him better than anybody else. And his moves.
Tommy, what can Philadelphia do now, down by 17?
They've got to pound it inside, and it's not working.
Hodges has been the spark plug. McKeskey quietly has done the job, the dirty work inside. Good work off the bench for Milwaukee. Moncrief wide open. And Pressey Keeps it in play. Tommy, Philadelphia is standing around now. Pressey nearly kept that ball in play for
When you spread the defense like the Bucks have forced the Sixers to do, when you go back out, you can drive, and when you go and penetrate, the Sixers retreat, you kick it back out. They're playing them the defense like an accordion.
No basket. Barkley was pushed. It was 69-67 Bucks when they went on this huge 17-2 run.
As McKeskey playing some extra fine defense with that bad knee, getting the feet working to pick that pass off.
A lot of time left. 8 minutes. Philadelphia needs points in a hurry. Wingate starts it off with 3 maybe. And David Wingate with his first field goal of the game, and it's now 14 points. And the Bucks turn it over. That's the last thing Del Harris wants or needs now.
You've got to make good passes. Don't give the lead away.
Sikma getting set to come back in. And so is Kerry Cummings. The Bucks don't want to take any chances. They're going with their heavy metal now.
It's in the hands of Charles Barkley, but the double team is taking the ball out of his hands.
Irving misses a 3, and Wingate is there to convert. Called by Del Harris. A long road back, but keep in mind that teams have made the long road back in this series.
When you want the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer, ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the green label.
Green?
Just kidding, guys. Ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the black label.
That's not funny, pal.
Zest up your policy, dig up your bill. Leave it to the good hands, people. Do it right now, or you never will.
Come into Allstate and compare our low homeowners rates. You might just save some money.
Check through your files, look high and low. Get down to Allstate, you might save some dough. Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Maybe you'll be lucky. Maybe you'll just have to replace your connecting rods. But maybe you'll need new valves. Then your bearings and crankshaft could go. Maybe even your rings and pistons. But you can help prevent all this for just a few dollars with a Fram Wear Guard oil filter. A leading consumer magazine rated Fram Best. So you can pay a few dollars now or a lot later.
When you want the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer, ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the green label.
Green?
Just kidding, guys. Ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the black label.
Not funny.
An unfortunate development here. There has been a death threat lodged with the Mecca switchboard operator here against Earl Strom, the official here today's game. Bill King, the PR director for the Milwaukee Bucks, said it is legitimate. They've notified NBA security as well as the Milwaukee police. They've beefed up security here. They are taking it as legitimate. Dick?
Thank you, JB. Boy, that's sad. This is a game. 86-74, and they scored 5 points in a minute to the Sixers to get back.
Sixers have their best defensive team in there right now. They've got to get aggressive, come up with some steals, not give open shots like that.
Hodges with 10 points.
They've got to have at least 3 or 4 good defensive stands, at least 3 of them in a row.
88-74. Double dribble against Barkley, and the last thing you didn't have to mention was no turnovers. Here comes Milwaukee with under 7 minutes to go, leading by 14. Wingate nearly knocked it away. And Pressey throws it away, and now the Sixers get the ball back.
Well, in addition to coming up with the ball, you got to put it in up the other end. Barkley has got to do it. He can't be popping out and then trying to beat 2 men to the hoop.
And if you're Milwaukee, how do you play it now?
You just play it and dare the Sixers to hit from the outside. That's the way I'd play it.
Wingate. This is a 2. Barkley. This is a follow-up. And Cummings lost it out of bounds. Tommy, it appears that the Bucks are giving the Sixers a chance to really get back in this one.
Well, They're letting also, when they take the outside shot, the Sixers, they're letting the Sixers climb on the offensive glass. You got to block out, get the rebound on the miss.
Wingate missed, Pressey the rebound. The key Philadelphia shooters, Barkley, Cheeks, and Irving, are about 35% in this game. That was Wingate the last time.
And the huddle used to say, this time, make them take a tough shot and give them only one shot.
Cummings with 5 on the clock. Open is that man Hodges again. 12 points in the fourth period for Craig Hodges. And that's only about halfway, a little more than halfway over. 16-point lead. Cheeks misses. Cummings. And it's 18 again, and the Philadelphia bench shows you the way this game's going.
And certainly it looks like Terry Cummings has not hit that wall with fatigue yet.
It's getting tougher for the men in red.
You never had before. They said, show me, boy. But I'll begin to pour. Let me tell you, this is where the fun starts. See the fun cooler. This is where the fun starts.
2 out of 3 Indy drivers rely on STP oil treatment, because when it comes down to it, STP adds extra lubrication to reduce engine wear in whatever you drive.
STP is the racer's edge.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. You need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
Now Ford brings you powerful value news on a powerful truck. The Big Ford Pickup. America's best-selling truck 9 years running. Right now, get 3.9% financing or $600 cash back. Combine the cash back with an option package discount and save up to $2,397 on select F-Series pickups. Great values are also available on Ford Ranger and Bronco, too. Take advantage of these savings now. See your Ford dealer. America's truck. Built Ford tough.
There are still 5 minutes and 26 seconds left in this fourth period, and the game is not over officially. But the way it looks now, it looks like Milwaukee will finish off Philadelphia and end one of the amazing careers in all of professional sports. This has been his last year, and a farewell tour more expansive than the Michael Jackson tour. Tommy, Julius Erving personalized every stop. He talked about Connie Hawkins in Phoenix and Fritz Massman, his trainer when he won 2 ABA titles with the Nets and came to tears. He gave an all-star ring to Chopper Travellini, the Denver trainer. Just a special man.
There's no question few players leave a signature on the game like Dr. J did. Wilt Chamberlain did it with the dipper dunk. Cousy with the behind-the-back pass. Russell with the block shot. And who will ever forget, if they've watched basketball, Dr. J with the skywalk and the slam dunk.
On the floor doing what he can do with 5:20 to go. And David Wingate is fouled going to the hoop. The foul is on Cummings, his fourth personal, and Wingate shooting. So, Tommy, when Philadelphia cut the lead to 12, Milwaukee responded with 6 in a row, and that really makes it doubly tough because we're talking about fourth period now.
Hodges has not played an awful lot in this series because Lucas has taken that quick man spot. Hodges kind of lost his position to Lucas because Lucas represented that good hard push to create fast break opportunities. But Hodges has asserted himself in this one.
1 out of 2 for Wingate. The Sixers had scored only 25 points in nearly 19 minutes of this second half. Bucks a tremendous defensive effort here, and that normally wins the big games like this one. Sigma too far away with 4 seconds. Oh! Hodges, the rebound and the basket. Hodges, 14 in this final period, has broken it open for Milwaukee off the bench. Point lead, the biggest of the game for the Bucks.
I just don't think that Charles Barkley, who's been held kind of at bay, did not use his wide body effectively in the low post.
And he didn't get off early. They didn't get the ball to Barkley as they intended, Tom, as you mentioned, to get him scoring early on. Foul on Barkley.
What the Sixers were trying to do with Barkley, Dick, was let him get the ball, draw the double team, and then create opportunities for others. It did not happen effectively that way today.
There's the story. And Barkley has 4 fouls. Cummings goes around Hinson. Barkley gets the rebound. Barkley wanted to make amends for the Game 7 a year ago. He felt embarrassed. Hasn't worked out great for him today. Still Philadelphia ball.
Everybody does something when they get the ball in a low post on Philadelphia with a dribble. Why don't they just catch it and shoot it off the catch?
Good question. 7 on the clock. Wingate. And here's Hodges. He's got Pressey with him. Irving is fouled. Well, this is the biggest playoff rivalry of the 1980s. These teams have played in postseason 6 of the last 7 years, and the only time Milwaukee was successful was last year when they won the Eastern Conference semifinal in 7 games when the man at the line, Julius Erving, couldn't convert, missed the jumper in the final seconds. And now it appears as if Milwaukee is going to make it 2 in a row in this playoff rivalry.
Regardless of who does win this series, I thought beforehand that either one of these clubs could give the Celtics a tough go, particularly now that Kevin McHale is still in question with that bad foot. Milwaukee will use speed on them, and you saw how effective the low post game can be against Milwaukee if used properly, and McHale may not be able to be used effectively against Milwaukee.
Hodges gets it to Cummings, who missed the stuff. Tommy, what is Kevin McHale's the latest status on him?
It's questionable whether he will play on Tuesday. He's got a sprained ankle. He's got a stress fracture and also a couple of spurs. He won't play until that swelling goes down from the sprain.
Irving from Wingate, and the Sixers still chugging along, but trailing 96-78 with 3 minutes to go. These teams have gone back and forth in this first round. Milwaukee and Philly have exchanged victories through the first 4. Pressey from Cummings. And now it's a matter of time. Three-point shot. Barkley. No good.
Right now, if I was Matt Gukas, I would get Dr. J out of the ball game.
Danny Brains gets off the bench, and maybe he will. And if he does, I'm looking for the crowd reaction. And they're awfully happy right now. Cummings. Rebound by Irving. So Danny Brains, who has not seen action except for a precious minute or so, coming in. Foul is on Wingate. The Doc will stay in the game, I believe, and Brains will replace Charles Barkley.
Well, what they're saying right now is we consider Dr. J an integral part of what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes. I don't think it's going to be relevant, but Dr. J would be the last guy, I guess, to want to come out of a loss without giving 100%.
Jack Sigma goes to the bench. 21 rebounds and 18 points. And Sigma has been a hero in each Milwaukee success in this series. Philadelphia with pressure, and Cheeks commits the foul. Tommy, if you were Matty Gukas, would you take Julius Erving out of there now if it looks like the game is not going to be won?
I certainly would. I would say, Dr. J, leave now. You have given us the best of everything you've ever tried to put into the game. Have a bow.
Under 2 minutes to play. 15-point lead, and the Boston Celtics waiting in the wings. The defending champions will go back to work Tuesday in the start of a 4-out-of-7 series against these Milwaukee Bucks. Wingate ahead of the field, and it's 98-81, 1:40 to play, full court press. Steele, Wingate, Nearly, Lucas, Cummings, and Danny Brains fouls Terry Cummings. The schedule for the next series, as Coulter comes into the ball game. First two games will be in Boston, Tuesday and Wednesday night. And then games 3 and 4 will be here at the Mecca Friday and Sunday. That's how the first 4 games are set up in that semifinal. Minute and a half, and Julius remains out on the floor.
He's subbing for everybody but Dr. J, so he's probably saving it for the last part to let Julius feel that he was an integral part right down to the bitter end.
Coulter, Brains, McNamara in for the first time. Julius Erving, basket counts and a foul. Well, I look beyond Julius Erving as a basketball player. I look at him as an athlete and a man.
It might be the last one you ever see. Dr. J, strong drive to his left with that ability to hold it up in the air and just outleap people and then the finger roll.
All of the lasting words fit this man. Ambassador, statesman, he transcended sports, a genuine athletic hero. We're seeing the final minute of a unique person, Lucas. 110, and the Milwaukee Bucks will move on, and Del Harris was the coach today in all fairness. Julius Erving with a 3.
Don Nelson, maybe a little page out of Red Auerbach's book. Get my guys going, get a little something extra from the official. I doubt that it really was in his mind to do that, but it's worked out that way.
The doctor. Brewer, the rebound. Hodges to McKeskey, and a foul. And Julius Erving is going to go out, I believe. Yes, he is. Free throws. He was never in war with his teammates, the fans, or the media. Never a bad word about him. Brains the rebound with 15 seconds to go. McNamara with the layup. Where does he rank and what kind of company? I don't know. Maybe Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, Joe DiMaggio, people like that. It's it for Julius Erving, and the Milwaukee Bucks go on. Big win for Milwaukee. Del Harris taking over for Don Nelson, and the Bucks will advance to the conference semifinals against the Boston Celtics, beating the Sixers 102-89. I wonder what's going through that man's mind now. James Brown is out there somewhere.
For the Milwaukee Bucks,
All of the Bucks, that was Sidney Moncrief, have gone up to Julius Erving. Tommy, this is a moment none of us will ever forget.
You have said it, and said it well, Dick. This man left his mark in many ways than on the court. He helped the game when the game really needed some help. And he's provided an inspiration for future players as to how to conduct themselves.
Milwaukee beats Philadelphia 102-89. Bittersweet. But for Milwaukee, they're into the conference semifinals against the Boston Celtics with a tremendous effort. But coming up, Detroit and Atlanta. And for a report, let's go to Brent Musburger at the Omni. Brent?
All right, Dick Stockton, thank you very much. This is game one of what could be a 7-game series between the Detroit Pistons and the Hawks of Atlanta. Pleasure to be here with Billy Cunningham. I must tell you that for the last few moments, both our thoughts have been on the great Julius Erving, the doctor. Billy played with him, coached him. What are some of your thoughts now about Julius?
Oh, I had such an empty feeling watching him walk off that court. In the same breath, I'm pleased. He had such a phenomenal career, and I would just think that I was just so fortunate, and I think everybody, to share a little of that.
Yeah, such a class individual, and I think all of us connected with the game, especially the fans, are really going to miss the great doctor. Now, Adrian Dantley is standing by with Pat O'Brien. Let's go to Pat.
All right, Brent. Sweet Hotel. Were defeated by the Hawks in the playoffs. You are the new ingredient here. Can you make the difference, or what do you bring to this team?
Well, I don't know if I can make the difference. I think I've made them a better basketball team. They brought me here so they can have some play inside, and I'm just here whenever they want to come to me. I hope I can deliver.
How does the team feel going into the playoffs?
We feel
the second round.
We feel very confident. We know Atlanta's a very good basketball team, and we just come in here and try to win one game, maybe try to win both.
All right, good luck. Thank you, AD. Let's now go to Tim Brandt. Tim?
All right, Pat, here in the West, we'll be showing you Game 5 of the Golden State-Utah series. A sellout crowd is expected here today for the Game 5 in what has been a very physical, hard-fought series. And in the wake of last Saturday's emotional eruption, here at the Salt Palace, security has been beefed up. Extra police and security guards have been placed on duty. Now, at the end of Game 2, Greg Ballard and Karl Malone got into a little bit of a Donnybrook, and that has carried over. The people here in Salt Lake are still remembering and thinking about this as we head into Game 5, Billy Packer.
Well, Tim, one of the things I think about is the fact that Malone got the bigger fine of the two here. I don't know what Ballard was possibly thinking about going over and grabbing Malone in that situation, but then it broke out with the fans, and George Kyle is not a guy you'd want to fool with. Pretty strong customer, really gets into things there, and let's hope today that the fans stay in the seats. They let these players play because it's been a great series, and in Game 5, you want the guys that just show their great athletic ability in everything of basketball, nothing to do with fighting.
Earlier today, as the teams came out to warm up, these were the security people that have been brought in to rope off the court to help beef up the security. Utah coach Frank Layden says he's seen better fights with his mother-in-law.
That's usually the case in the game, but let me tell you this, Tim. I think we've got two teams that match up very well in this particular ball game. Let's leave the fighting to the guys in the ring and let them play basketball today, and I think we should see an outstanding basketball game.
And, of course, a lot of that will be dictated by the officials early on in this ball game.
I think that certainly is going to be the case. The officiating early in the ball game will not only for the referees, but also from the coaches and the players are going to be a key situation.
All right, Golden State and Utah coming up, Game 5. Right now, let's go back to the Mecca in Milwaukee. Here's Dick Stockton.
Thank you very much, Tim. And so here's the Eastern Conference situation. The Celtics and the Bucks will play Game 1 of their best of 7 on Tuesday. And as you know, coming up next, Atlanta and Detroit. And those two winners will meet eventually to get to the NBA Finals. Julius Erving scored 24 to lead the Philadelphia 76'ers, but Milwaukee wins it 102-89.
Most bottled beers have to take the heat of pasteurization. And this can change the real taste. But there's one kind of beer that's not heat pasteurized, draft beer. And now there's real draft beer in bottles, Miller Genuine Draft. It's not heat pasteurized. It's cold filtered, so it retains all of its rich, smooth, real taste. Miller Genuine Draft.
It's as real as it gets.
Stanley, we open doors all across America.
Doors that open wide and welcome you inside. That open up to your special day. Doors that
doors for the quality of your life.
Stanley helps you do things right.
The Milwaukee Bucks beating Philadelphia for the second straight year in a 5-game to the distance series. Will now play the Boston Celtics, and of course Jack Sigmund did a tremendous job leading the Bucks with 21 and also 18 rebounds. Greg Hodges, 14 points. He was the guy that broke it open. But beyond that, what did you see in this game from Milwaukee?
I thought speed won out in this thing. I don't think that the Sixers utilized their power game quite as effectively as they could have. The speed will be very important for Milwaukee when they play the Celtics. That is something that the Celtics have been susceptible to all season long. So we saw a good viewing of what the Bucks are capable of doing with that quickness.
And of course, Sigma was the leader, and every time he's played well, Milwaukee has played well, and every time he had into foul trouble, he had problems. But Sigma had 18 points and 21 rebounds. Those were his final totals as Milwaukee won. Del Harris did the bulk of it. Don Nelson was tossed out, and right now Don Nelson is with James Brown.
All right, thanks so much, Dick. Don, your interpretation of the call that got you so frustrated when you were thrown out of the game?
It was an error on my part, really. I thought Pressey was hacked in the backcourt. That's what I was talking about. But I have to control myself better. But, you know, it turned out to be a positive. I wish I was smart enough to get thrown out on purpose. But what I told my team at halftime, I said, look, guys, I made a tremendous error. You got to bail me out now. You got to come through. And, boy, did they ever come through.
They did it in strong fashion, and Dale Harris did a good job.
Dale did a fantastic job. You know, he is just one hell of a coach. There's no doubt about it, and has been for a long, long time. And I feel very confident when he has to take over that he's going to do a great job.
Your good friend, Tommy Heinsohn, thought perhaps you had a low boiling point given the frustrations going here with the alleged friction between yourself and Herbert Cole. Any truth to that at all?
Well, I think whatever it was, I made an error, and I let my temper get away from me. But I misread Earl Strom, too. I mean, he and I go back 25 years. I thought I could say a few things to him and get away with it. Boy, was I wrong.
Don, last question. Looking ahead now to the Boston Celtics, you know what they're all about. Tell me about that series as you look ahead.
The Celtics have been very difficult for us to match up with, but we did a better job this year than we did a year ago. We're 3-3 with them regular season, and I'm just looking forward to playing them. They're a great ball club, and anytime you can play them, it's a privilege.
In absentia, a good tactical move on your part.
Absolutely. Great tactic, yes.
All right, Dick, back to you.
Well, ironically, Milwaukee was up by 1 point when Don was ejected, and they won by 13. So Del Harris did an outstanding job. And the Miller Lite player of the game is Jack Sigma, 18 points, 21 rebounds. That's a playoff high for Jack, who did most of his playoff work, of course, for Seattle before this year. Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Society on behalf of Jack Sigma. You'll hear from Julius Erving at halftime of our second game. So for Tom Heinsohn and James Proud, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from the Mecca. The final score, the Bucks 102, Philadelphia 89, Milwaukee advances. Coming up next, the second half of today's doubleheader. Most of you will see Detroit and Atlanta in game one of their series. Some of you will see Golden State, Utah in their deciding game.